Welcome to Cultivating Keepsakes. I'm Eden and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm making some summer themed scoops for my tier trays. All of the scoops except for one came from Temu. I'll tell you when I get to that one. And I started with this one and some reddish pink paint. I'm not sure exactly the color because it was custom mixed a few years ago for my daughter's room, but it is chalk paint. And then my apple barrel shamrock green acrylic paint. I did 2 coats of each one and didn't seem to be a big difference between using chalk or acrylic paint, so you can use whichever one you prefer. I did the scoop part in the pinkish red and the handle in the green, as you can see. And then once it was painted, I set it to the side to dry, and I got out this little scoop that I used my sea paints in the color patina on. So I'm not a huge fan, well, let me rephrase. I'm a huge fan of the paints, except for within 2 months of having them, a bunch of them dried out, even in bottles that I had not even opened. So it is a lot of money to throw away for paint that doesn't last very long. However, I left the dry time in here because that's the one really cool thing about this paint. It dries in less than 30 seconds. And so if you're going to use it quickly, then I would highly recommend it. If not, then, you're taking the chance that it won't last and stay good. Anyways, I gave that one a good coat all over. And then I set that one to the side so that I could start working on another scoop. This one is my peaches and cream scoop. I had these little tags, well, I didn't have them. I made these little tags with my Xtool M1 Ultra. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. That's just what I used to make it. So that's what I'm telling you. And I hot glued the little tag to the handle. And then I made a bow. I tried to make it even tinier, but that didn't work out with this size ribbon. So I had to switch up, which is why you've seen it go kind of fast right there. But it worked out great anyways. So I'm actually kind of glad that the smaller one didn't work because I liked this size. And I got that bow maker from, I believe, Temu. Might have been Amazon. You can get them on either. And then I just hot glued the bow to the handle above the tag and cut off the tails. And then I took some DAP lightweight spackle and I put it in an icing bag and then used an icing tip to just put a little squirt of it in the scoop part. And then I added these 2 little resin peaches that I had. I believe I got them from AliExpress. And then that one was done. And then for the next scoop, I took these faux bomb pop sprinkles that I also got from AliExpress, and I just glued, I think, like 5 of them in the scoop part of it. And I also made a tag for this one that says bomb pops, and I hot glued that to the handle as well. Gotta catch up with myself here. There we go. So I hot glued that to the handle of this one as well. And then I had a little bow that I got in a pack from Temu. It came with a bunch of different colors of them. And I glued that right onto the tag on this one. And then that was it. This one was done. You'll get a better look at them all in the end. And then this is the one that didn't come from Temu. It came from Amazon. And I actually really love the shape of these scoops. And I had a little tag made, or I made the little tag, and it said sour. And again, I made a bow for it. This ribbon came from Dollar Tree. And I glued the tag onto the handle, just like before. And then I glued the bow onto the tag. And then I cut the tail short on this bow. I just thought it looked cute. And I wanted all the scoops to have their own personality. And then I used my DAP lightweight spackle again and filled the scoop area with it. And then I sat these 2 lemon slices that came from Temu inside, and then this one was done. And I think that this one is actually my favorite of the whole bunch. And then next I took the scoop that I had used the patina paint on, And I had these little seashells that we collected at the beach one year, and this white sand from Dollar Tree. And I filled the scoop with hot glue, and then I just dipped it in the bag of sand and shook it off like that. And then I hot glued my little seashells into the scoop as well. And much like the other scoops, I then took my little tag. This one says seashells. Geesh. And I glued that to the handle. And then I glued the little bow also to the handle. This bow I also got from Temu in a different pack that had a bunch of different solid colored ones. I don't know what is wrong with me today. I can't talk in this video. And then that one was done. And then the last scoop is the one we started in the beginning, which is our watermelon themed one. And I used my black Posca paint pen to make little watermelon seeds. I did them in different sizes all over the red part of it. And as you probably guessed, I also made a tag for this one. It said melon, and I also hot glued that to the handle. And wouldn't you know, I also made a bow for it. I'm not exactly sure where this ribbon came from. I don't remember. It's just black and white striped. And then I don't know why I cut the tails right there because I end up cutting them again, but I cut the tails, glued it on, and then for this one, I put a little bit of hot glue on the side of the scoop on both sides and stuck the ribbon to it so I could have it the way that I wanted. And I forgot, I also glued this little watermelon slice to the center of the bow. But right here, I glue it to the side. I just really liked the way the bow looked with the long tails and kind of puffed up like that. And then I recut my tails to the size I wanted them. And then this one was complete. I really hope that you like them. You'll have to let me know which one is your favorite and which one's your least favorite down in the comments. I would also love if you would follow or subscribe, share, comment, like, all of those good things. They really help my page and my channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. I appreciate each and every one of you just for being here, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!